When most people embark into the preparedness, they start on the cheap. They start on the cheap because they really don't have a lot of knowledge, and they see everything like really daunting. They see a lot of videos online of people with a lot of really expensive gear, and a lot of folks saying they can make it. I'm here to share with y'all a little bit of evolution since we moved here. Now, why I'm saying since we moved here? Well, because what we had in Florida, we left everything behind, and when we moved here, we only moved with the bags that we can carry on the plane. So we didn't brought anything with us. So we started from zero. Now, our environment obviously is a lot harsh than a lot of folks, and that has to be taken into consideration. Our mindset is not as new into the preparedness. We have been doing this for quite some time. As I mentioned in previous videos, I was born and raised in Cuba. I was a prepper since the moment that I was born, and I didn't know about it. So take that for what it's worth. But nonetheless, I wanna give you an idea of the things that we have done over the years, and to put you at ease if you're starting this journey right now. It is a journey, though. Don't think that you're just gonna do it today, ignore it for years, and then if something happens, you can pick it up again. No, this is a lifestyle. This is something that you have to do on a daily basis, and once you commit it and you like it, you will enjoy it. But let me first say to you that if all you can afford is the cheap things, you're not doing it wrong. You're not doing it wrong. In fact, a lot of people actually experiment first with a cheaper gear, and then they move into the most expensive gear. And here's a little example, and I got a few examples that I want to show you all as we go through this exercise. This is one of those canteen cups. This is the stainless steel one. This is actually was an upgrade from the aluminum one. And I've used this, not as extensive as I wanted to, but I have used it. This is my old Snow Peak. And this little thing is over 20 years old. I still use it from time to time. However, from time to time, I should emphasize the time to time. But ever since I was able to switch over to Jetboil, this is what I use now. And I have made a point of getting a few. This is my camping one. I have one in my hunting pack. Last has one in his hunting pack. And this one actually is specifically to our winter gear. That's another thing. As you progress in your preparedness journey, you're going to accumulate a lot of gear. And now you're going to start to separate things, based on seasons. So I want you to consider that. I went from this to this, essentially because this is a lot more effective. Now, you're always going to hear folks telling you, you can just get away with a cheap one. You don't need the most expensive one. You don't need none of that. Don't listen to Billy. If you want to go that route, sure, absolutely. I am giving you both sides, though. You can do with the cheaper version. You can do it. However, you can do it better with the other versions. You see what I'm saying? The most expensive usually gives you a greater edge. Once you get into that genre that you are now a prepper. You are flat out prepper, and you're like, no, I want to spend my money on good quality gear because now my life depends on it. Now I want you to think about the way I think things. When I go out into the wilderness, and I do go out into the wilderness, in my neck of the woods, there's no cell phone reception. There's nobody to come to my rescue. I am dependent 100% on the gear that I have with me and on the person who's coming along with me. So I have to consider that if this fails me, I'm in trouble. I am in big trouble. So I try my very best to invest in things that they have been proven, and that I have tested in the field that is not going to let me down. The other thing is, like I said before, this can do it. I'm not saying that it can, but this right here, your fuel is going to go like that, meaning that you're going to spend a lot more fuel in the cheaper version than not in the expensive one. Just to give you an idea. There's nothing wrong with upgrading. And I'm going to give you a little story. You remember some time ago, I shared a video about a buck knife that I wanted. This one is empty because, well, I'm carrying it. So it's right here. I have been using it now on the daily basis, like on and on and on and on. And I have yet to sharpen the knife. And Laz usually does things with me, and he was carrying I think a cheap buck knife, and his knife got dull, so he was like frustrated. He's like, "Dad, my knife is not cutting," and I gave him my knife, and he's like, "Why is your knife so sharp?" And I said, "Well, son, it's a higher quality knife, so it retained the sharpness a lot longer. It's a different metal, blah blah blah." I gave him the whole spiel, and he looked at me. He's like, "Well, I want one." I was like, "Ha!" I was like, "Bud," I said, "Bud, just because you want it, you can't have it. There's a difference in here. You don't work. So everything that you have comes from mommy and daddy." He's like, "Well, how can I make this happen? Because I really want your knife." And I said, "Well, son, if you really want it, all we can do is give you extra work around the house. And once you have the money, we can order you one." He spent 2 months saving his money. 2 months. Now, Laz usually gets an allowance of $20 a week, for doing his chores and whatnot. So he can have, a little bit of money. He can understand where money comes from. And it takes effort to make money. It's just not being handled. And when he got $200, I said, "Stop." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "You don't need any more." And he did pick up extra little things here and there. So I gave him extra money. So Laz was able to save. He took 2 months though to save his money to get a buck knife similar to mine. Mine's a little bigger, but he wanted the 3-inch one. It's right here. This is mine. This is his. He wanted the 3-inch one because it fit better. Because I took it to the store and he could hold both, and he's like, "I like this one better." His is right here. He's not allowed to use it unless it's right here. So I'm not going to take it out due to YouTube and whatnot. His little thing, just like mine. Lifetime warranty. And let me tell you something. That boy learned a valuable lesson. He still kept the old one though. Don't get me wrong. He still kept it. But he kept it with the mindset of, well, maybe when somebody is starting just like I was, I can gift this to him. And I said, "Son, it's a very good way to put things. Very good way." And that's the thing, y'all. We all evolve. We all do things at the very beginning on the cheap. And we try to increase our knowledge. And as our knowledge increases, well, obviously, our gear will evolve as well. Because we now know better. We now know that maybe that $30 knife that is serves well for that year, well, we outgrow that knife now because we need more. And as we require more from our tools evolve with us. One example that I want to give you is the first time that I went hunting, we took a small tent. Granted, back then we didn't have the pugs or anything. It was right when we started here. when we moved here, and we enjoy everything. However, the tent was a little small for the three of us, and you know, we quickly realized that we needed something bigger. So what we did is we upgraded. We didn't toss away the old one because the old one, I refused to get it from Walmart. I got it and it was a bit expensive, but I figured that it would be a perfect two-man tent for spring and summer. Spring and summer. It was not meant for late fall or winter, Alaska winter. It was not meant for that. They advertised it as such, but it was not meant for that. And I learned that the hard way during fall, during a moose hunt. We did good because we had the sleeping bags, but we got cold. Now, we ever since then got a bigger tent, a winter tent. Now this is a canvas one, way bigger, a bigger footprint. We now have the cots to sleep in it, way more comfortable. We did not toss away the other one, like I said, because, well, I screwed the pooch, and here's how things go. That one is a fall winter tent. It's a 4-season, but God Almighty, it gets whole damn hot in the summer. What the Billy does? Well, we got it tested. Yeah. It got super hot and it was very uncomfortable. So that is definitely not a tent for a summer camping trip. It is not. The other one is, but it's not. Now, of course, after we got the girls and whatnot, the two little demons that you guys know, the pugs, well, we upgraded yet again. Now, this is what we have. It's definitely more comfortable. We're not tossing anything away at all. Because this that you see in front of you, it's a lot harder to deal with. Because you got to hook it up to the truck and do all of those kind of things. You know, it just takes more time. The other stuff is just grab, toss, and bam, you're done. So, everything has a place. And what I'm trying to say here is just because you're starting right now and you're seeing all of this, don't get frustrated. It took years for us to get where we are. I guarantee you, 10 years from now, everything's going to be a lot different. A lot different. Because everything evolves. Now, on the same token, I want to caution everybody that comes across those people who will tell you flat out, you do not need that gear. No, that is a lie. You can do it as good as with the cheap gear as the other one with the most expensive gear. I want to throw here some caution. Those people, you have to be very careful, because a lot of them have not experienced what good quality gear is, and a lot of them are just saying that because they flat out cannot afford the other gear, or they don't want to put the time in it. Because if my son was able to save slowly for his own knife, you get what I'm saying. So be cautious when it comes to that. I always remember, preparedness is all about change. Nothing stays the same. You have to be able to adapt and improvise. Yes, sometimes the cheaper gear is the right way to go, but more than none, and I guarantee this, and please let me know in the comment section below, that as time passes and you evolve, so will your gear. And one clear example is that the first boomstick that you started with, I guarantee you, most likely is not the same one that you have right now in front of you. Because things evolve. With that being said, I hope this video helps you. Do not be daunted by the fact that you see a lot of videos online of preppers showing you a whole lot of gear. Do not be discouraged. Think that took them a lot of time. Think that we all went through the same process. It's a learning process. It's an involvement. And we all have to go through it. We all have to pay our dues. So, again, like I always, rock on, prep on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.